Welcome to this week's episode of Cooking with Connie. Because of the Lenten and Easter season, a lot of people want some seafood dishes. So this is again going to be shape reclaimed. So I modified this recipe to make it work for you guys. And what we're going to do today is we're going to make some crab cakes. All right, so the first thing I did was I started with some really good quality crab. I got this on Amazon. This is Crown Prince Natural Fancy White Lump Crab Wild Caught. A lot of the crab meat, you got to be careful. It's got a lot of other ingredients in it. So make sure you read it, get the cleanest that you possibly can. Then I did, I forgot my nut thins. I took some of my nut thins, probably about 20 of them, and I just ground them up in my NutriBullet over here, and I'm going to put those in. Those are going to help us kind of make this more crispy because we're going to air fry this. We're not going to put this in a fryer. So we can decrease the fats and stuff that we're using. We're going to use 1 egg. We're going to put some onion flakes in here. Should have opened that. We'll put probably 2 teaspoons of onion flakes. And the reason I'm using the dried onion flakes rather than chopping up onion, because I want this to be really fine. And I don't really like to chop onion that well. So I'm just using some of the minced onion dried in this recipe. The other thing we're going to use is some Old Bay. That's a seasoning that a lot of people use for their seafood stuff. And so we're going to use about a teaspoon of Old Bay. This should give us some nice flavor. We're going to use a little bit of sea salt. So I usually just a pinch. I don't like to over salt things. And I'm going to put just a little bit of pepper in here. So we'll just sprinkle a little bit. The Old Bay has pepper in it too, so that's why I'm not going to get carried away with it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix all that together. And then we'll make it into our crab cakes. And then we're going to put it in the air fryer and get it nice and crisp. So just stir it up good. It should be wet like this to where we're going to be able to form that into cakes, okay? So then what we'll do is we'll just make us and you can decide how big you want to make them. I made this for my daughter last week. She was very happy with this recipe. I changed up the seasonings just a little bit because we didn't have any Old Bay last week, so we just kind of made do with what we had. And I have sprayed my baking sheet with a little extra virgin olive oil spray. All right, now I've got my air fryer set on 350. We're going to pop these in, and then we'll kind of come back and let you know how long it took for these to cook. So they're ready to go in the oven. All right, guys, we are back, and look at these yummy crab cakes. And as you can see, we've created a sauce here, and what we did was we took equal parts of cottage cheese and Greek yogurt, whipped it up in the NutriBullet to make it creamy. And then we added some chili starter. So this one right here has some salt, cumin, chilies, paprika, garlic, peppers. So just kind of whatever you like as far as the seasonings to blend with that creaminess to kind of give you a little condiment sauce that you could put on it. And if you liked it, then you could actually use that. We were going to use a little lemon juice in it, but unfortunately we couldn't find any lemon juice in the house. So that would be another thing you could add to that to give it a nice flavor. So this is our idea for those days that you want some seafood, especially if you're thinking about Good Friday coming up. If you're like us, we usually try not to eat meat on that day. So crab cakes would be a great little treat that you could do. Throw some veggies with it and you got your whole meal. So remember, like, share, subscribe, and remember, make good choices this week.